Wanda and George Hobile are suing the father of their granddaughter, Jason Gray, for loans to pay bankruptcy fees and to buy a truck.
Order. All rise. That's case number 49 on the calendar, the matter of Hobile versus Gray. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat.
Mr. and Mrs. Hobile, this is your daughter's boyfriend. They have a child together. I assume this is your daughter. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is your claim that you made 2 loans to Mr. Gray, one for a truck, which you have since repossessed, and one for fees concerning a bankruptcy? Mr. Gray says that the truck was never in his name. Truck was always in your daughter's name. When they fell behind in payments, you asked for the truck back. You took the truck back. It was never actually his truck. And with regard to the bankruptcy fees, he said that there was never an expectation that you were going to be paid back any money that you did in fact give him. He wanted them to start fresh, and you made a gift to him of that money. Let's talk about the truck. In whose name was the truck titled?
Truck was titled in my daughter's name, Jennifer Marie Hobile. My husband and I were the lien.
If it was Mr. Gray's truck, why wasn't it titled in his name?
He owed DMV fees, and there was all kinds of problems that he had. He had marital problems, he had bankruptcy problems. The problems that he could not put the truck in his name.
Had he filed for bankruptcy before he got the truck?
No, he had not, ma'am.
Okay, Jason, let's come back to you. Listen to me. You got the truck. At the same time, your girlfriend got a car.
Yes.
And both of those came from her parents.
Yes.
Because I read the papers and I put 2 and 2 together. So you drove the truck.
Yes, sometimes. Most of the time I did.
Don't play with me.
I'm not playing with you. Everybody drove that truck.
Who's everybody?
She did. Her ex-husband did. Everybody drove that truck. He drove it. I wasn't the only one that drove it.
What kind of work did you do?
I did tree work at the time.
And how did you get to work?
I either had the company truck or I drove that truck.
What company gave you their truck to take home?
It was my brother's company.
What company gave you a truck
company.
to take home? Name of the company.
Gray's Tree.
And if I called your brother right now, would he say to me that he allowed you, while you were working for him, to take his truck home on a regular basis?
Yes.
He would?
He would.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Okay. We may try him later. Now, you want to tell me about the bankruptcy fees that you claim to have loaned him? When was that?
It was May of '08. He had asked for $1,100 for bankruptcy. He needed it immediately because his wife was going to file for all the bank charges that they had, and he had another vehicle that was in there, a Dodge Durango, that had to be repossessed, and he was going to have to pay $8,000 to $9,000 on that if Jason could not get the bankruptcy.
Okay, so he needed $1,100 in May of 2008, 2 years ago.
Yes.
Now, in March of '07, you claimed that you registered the truck.
Yes, ma'am.
And how much did you take out on the truck?
I got a convenience check for $3,000.
Okay, and between March of '07 and May of '08, how much did Mr. Gray pay on the truck?
$400.
So a year and a half after he made literally no payments on the truck, and I assume you were making payments on the truck.
Yes, I still am.
You gave him more money.
Yes, because otherwise he was going to get hit with the fees from his wife, and he was going to have to pay for his Dodge Durango.
I heard the story before. Okay. After you gave him the $1,100 in May of 2008, when was the next payment on anything from Mr. Gray?
Nothing.
Well, then where have you been for the last 2 years?
Well, he assured me that in 2009 he was going to get a large sum of money from his taxes and that he would pay me then. Well, I was very lenient with them. I have done everything in my power to love my daughter, even though I felt that she got hooked up with a loser, a drunk, and that's what I felt about him all along. I felt that this was a bad choice that she had made, but she's my daughter, I loved her, and now she had a child by him. And so we felt that we could give him a fresh start, even though we didn't think he was the nicest person on the face of the earth. My husband working in corrections, we thought, well, we'll give him another start. It was a verbal agreement, no need to have anything signed, because I will trust you, and I did. And they faithfully said, he's very manipulative.
He paid nothing.
He paid nothing.
Ms. Hoopline, he paid nothing.
He paid nothing. Listen. He said nothing. He made no arrangements. Every time I kindly said, could you please come over and let's talk about this? What do we need to talk about? He feels he's entitled to this, that this was given as a gift. I wouldn't give him anything as a gift because I never liked him. He's a loser. And it's just a matter of time before my daughter finds this out.
She dogged me.
Put your hand down. Put your hand down. How old are you?
32.
How many children do you have?
I've got 3.
And you've had a bankruptcy?
Yes.
And you couldn't afford a car, right? How much money do you send for your children?
Send them
Don't look over there.
I send them 140 a week.
140 a week. Do they take that out of your salary?
Yes. I'm all caught up.
Caught up means you were far behind.
I'm there. I'm paid up.
I'll
everything.
pay for that too.
She ain't paid for nothing.
No.
When I
Now,
first met
just
her.
listen. Did I let you speak? I understand
I
where it's at.
apologize.
No, I understand where it's at. I got it. Now, when you had the truck,
When she had the truck.
did you take the truck off-road?
Yeah, it was a woods truck. I had to take it off wood to get some wood.
Listen to me. If you can answer my questions with a yes or a no, answer
Yes,
it.
I took it off road.
And you took it off-road for... Put your hands down at your sides. She's right. You'll find out 5 years from now, you won't remember what his face looks like, except every other Saturday, maybe, when he comes by for 4 hours to pick up your child. Maybe. Trust me. Got a nose. Been around the business for a long time. He's got a bad character.
That lady's got a bad character.
I didn't ask you anything, and I wasn't speaking to you. Put your hands at your sides. Not in your pockets, at your sides.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Well, you made 2 bad choices in men.
Well, yes, I'm not going to say Jason's perfect, and neither one of us are perfect.
Listen, none of them are perfect.
Right.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Wanda and George Hobile claim the father of their granddaughter, Jason Gray, owes for 2 loans. Jason says he never agreed to pay the money back.
Okay, Jason. They really tried to help you. I read the papers. They really tried to help you, not because of you, but because they cared about their daughter, and she's a grown-up woman, so she made a choice, and you were the choice, and they felt as if they didn't want to lose their child, so sometimes you have to embrace someone who's marginal. Put your hands down. Who's marginal. That would be you. And I actually don't think, based upon what she says, that after a period of time they had a legitimate expectation, especially since he hadn't paid for the truck, that when she bailed you out on the bankruptcy to the tune of $1,100, that she had an expectation that she was going to be paid. She didn't have a legitimate expectation that she was going to be paid because she hadn't gotten paid from a year and a half before. That doesn't make you less a loser, Mr. Gray. And I really just wanted your girlfriend to know that you have one mother, you have one father. Were you married before?
Yes.
Stand up. When you got married, did you think it was going to last?
No.
So you got married thinking that it was going to be temporary. Don't give me answers that you think are going to make you look good, because they're going to make you look stupid.
No, I knew it wasn't going to last. I did it for my son, and it was what was right to do.
And when did it become not right?
When he had an affair on me.
So what did you do?
Him and his girlfriend lived in my house while I raised my son. And then they moved out, and I was stuck there with my son.
That sounds like a very sick arrangement.
Yes, it was.
Well, it sounds like somebody who really needs a great deal of therapy or treatment who would live under that circumstance.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've been in it our whole life. I'm not going to deny that. I mean, it's been family therapy since we were 5.
That sounds like somebody's trying.
Well, yeah, we all have. And I just wanted to give you just...
Is he in therapy?
No, I don't need no therapy.
Please, would you please stop, okay? Really, I know the way you think about him and whatever his character is. I'm not going to say one way or another, but I do want to just give you really what this boils down to comes between my parents and me. When I was 15, my was in and out of rehabs for drug use, and so they didn't want that to happen to me. So I wasn't allowed to do anything. I ran away. I stayed gone for a year, and that's when I went with my ex-husband. When I came back, when I was caught and brought in front of the judge, my parents wanted to give me up to social services and wanted me to sign me over to the state because, well, I don't know, they said that they couldn't handle me. And the judge told them that I had not committed any crimes, I'm not into drugs, I'm not into drinking. The only thing I didn't do was go to school, and of course that was because I ran away. And the judge told me that if I can get a job and if I could buy a car and got an apartment, he would emancipate me. And 1 month later, I was emancipated in October. And
How old were you?
16. I just turned 16. I was emancipated.
How old are you now?
25. And I've lived out on my own ever since. I've never gone back home to live with my parents. I've always provided a roof over my children's head. And, you know, I'm not going to say that I've been perfect financially. I have worked since the day I was 16. I started at a dollar store. Now I'm making very decent money, good benefits.
Who supports him?
I support me.
He's a welder and a fabricator.
When did he become a welder instead of a tree guy?
2 years ago, in 2008. But I will say his checks are not big because he pays his child support, and his child support comes out of his check every week. But my parents never liked my ex. They don't like anybody unless they're a doctor, lawyer, judge, professional.
I've got to tell you something. You sound like a terrific gal. I'm listening to you, and you just sound like a terrific gal for somebody who probably had a difficult teenage period, and you put yourself together, and you sound intelligent, and you're certainly good looking. And so far, you've made 2 bad choices in men.
Well, yes, I'm not going to say Jason's perfect, and neither one of us are perfect.
Listen, none of them are perfect.
Right. But he has watched my son. He took my son. My son doesn't have a father.
Then if he was a decent guy,
Yes.
he was. The one thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to let money interfere with the woman I love and her parents. We did go to them when we needed help. They were there to help. There may have been a lot of history, but when we needed help, they came through.
They were there. Yes.
It was his bankruptcy.
Yes.
Not yours, not theirs. He screwed up. If he were a man, he would say, I'm not going to allow this amount of money to interfere with that relationship. If they have other issues, I don't want their issues to be about me.
You're correct.
Great. And I said to you, I'm looking at you, and you look like a great gal who doesn't have to settle.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
My children,
I got it.
hurt. They want to know why they can't get emails with me. They want to know why they can't get some pops. He calls them.
That's absolutely so sad.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Wanda and George Hobiel claim the father of their granddaughter, Jason Gray, owes for 2 loans. Jason says he never agreed to pay the money back.
Okay. Sometimes it's better to be alone. Sometimes it's better to be alone.
He is a great father. I mean, I go to school full
He's a
time.
great father. Then he'd want his children to have affection of grandparents that he evidently went over to when he needed money. He needed
Your
$1,100.
Honor.
You have a brother, Alan, the tree surgeon. Did he give you $1,100 that
He
you
was going
needed?
to.
No. Did he give it to you?
No.
He's related to you by blood. You're not even married to her. You have a father?
Yes.
Did you go to your father?
No.
No.
I went to my brother.
No, listen to me. Jason, you got where I'm going? Strangers bailed you out. Strangers gave you $1,100.
May I just...
Yeah, sure, tell me.
A lot of this, and I know that, yes, it was all for him, but I was the one who asked for it. I'm the one who went to them. They don't even communicate with Jason. Jason doesn't communicate with them.
Just a second. Did Jason take the $1,100 from you?
Yes, he did accept it. Yes, he did.
Then he should have paid them back.
We paid some of it. We paid around $200 to $300. It was so long ago, and they have not been asking for the money until December, when my mother and I had a falling out.
What did you have a falling out with your mother about?
We had a falling out because my mother likes to control all of her kids' lives, and she does. And
I sort of know that. I understand that.
well, my mother wants those years that we didn't have when I was younger because my took so much of it. And so my mom wants those years back. And she's got to learn that I have my own family as well now. And my children I barely see because I work so much and I go to school full time. I've got my associate's degree and now I'm working on my bachelor's. So over the past 5 years, that's what I've been doing. And my mom, when I'm in her life, she wants the phone call every day. She wants me to answer her phone every day. On the weekends, she wants me to come by. She's asking for time with me, and that's understandable. She's my mother. But my children are not allowed to come. She does not call my children. She did not call my children on their birthday. She will see my children maybe 3 times a year, and that is not by my choice. My children used to ask about Pops. Pops used to take them up on the mountain, and he's not allowed to do that.
She wants to see you.
Well, yes, but, my children hurt. They want to know why they can't get emails with me. They want to know why they can't get see Pops. My children does not even call my parents Meemaw and Pops anymore. My son the other day seen my vehicle out at the parking lot for sale. My son told his daughter that is my mom's car now. He doesn't even call her Meemaw.
Well, that's absolutely so sad.
It is.
It's absolutely so sad because I have a sense that there's lots of misunderstanding between you and your mother. Now, your father, he looks as if he just wants everybody to be happy.
He's my teddy bear, and I love him.
But there looks like there's lots of
It's
unhappiness.
communication. It's a lack of communication.
Listen to me. The only thing is, if there's a lack of communication between you, eventually it'll work itself out. You see the arms crossed?
Yeah.
He doesn't care. Actually, he doesn't care that, aside from the fact
No,
that...
I care. I just want to say something.
If you cared, and if they said, listen, we feel foolish, we gave you this money, and we would like to have it back, then you would say, listen, I don't want that to interfere, because I actually don't think that they had an expectation of being paid back, so I'm not granting them a judgment. That means that despite the fact that I'm not crazy about you, you won.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com or call 1-888-800-JUDY.
Okay, Jason, you can win or you can lose. And if you want to live with a happy woman and somebody who's been through a lot but sounds to me like a great gal, works hard, supports her children, because you don't support them. You support, no, you don't. You support your other 2 children and maybe yourself. But as she says, his checks aren't very big because they take out his child support.
Yes, but he does provide them with love. I mean, my son...
Just a second.
Yes.
You know, you could die of starvation on love.
Yeah.
I'm talking about supporting them. You support them, and not only do you support them, according to what you tell me, which I believe, but you also say, listen, I want to get my degree. I want to move my life forward in a different direction.
Yes.
All sounds great. All sounds terrific, and we can never go back to the past. You know, if there was a child that took a great deal of attention, sometimes that happens. Whether it's somebody who's physically sick, who has MS or MD or has cancer, sometimes, you know, a drug addiction takes more emotional fortitude very often than a physiological illness. So I'm sure that if they had to do it all over again, they may have allocated their time a little bit better. But that's history. And when you were in trouble and you needed something, they were there for you. So try to work it out. Are you the other daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there in the middle for
No,
everything.
just a second. You get along with your parents?
Yeah, I do.
Get along with your sister?
It's been rocky because of everything going on, but I try and maintain at least somewhat of a relationship to see my niece and nephew.
And do you?
Yes, I do.
Good. I'm glad. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy, Johnny Rogers is suing the father of his girlfriend's children, Donnell Little, for making a false report to Child Protective Services and for handing out defamatory flyers to his neighbors.
Order. All rise. Yes, case number 35 on the calendar in the matter of Rogers versus Little.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ma'am, have a seat, please.
Mr. Rogers, this is your girlfriend, I assume.
Yes, ma'am.
And your girlfriend has 2 children.
3, Your Honor.
Well, 2 of them are his children.
Yes.
How long have you and this young lady been together?
About 18 months.
And you live together?
Yes.
It is your claim that Mr. Little filed maliciously a false child protective complaint against you.
Yes.
And in addition, he put up some flyers around the area.
He didn't put them up, he handed them out.
Or handed them out. And what they did was to describe a prior, I assume, criminal conviction that you have.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Little says he was legitimately concerned for his children and he had an absolute right to file the Child Protective Services complaint. That's what the case is about.
Yes.
You acknowledge that you called Child Protective Services.
Yes, ma'am.
You're going to tell me why.
I called because...
Look at me. Don't look there.
Okay.
Look at me.
All right, how you doing?
Don't ask me how I'm doing. I'm doing fine.
I'm sorry. I called because she dropped my sons off to me. As he came to the door, my son was full of feces.
How old is he?
He's 6.
Did you ask him what happened?
Yeah, he said, I told Mommy I had to go to the bathroom. She told me to hold it.
And
I
he
said,
couldn't. Okay, keep going.
I asked him, I took him and put him in the tub
Took
and
him
everything.
and you cleaned him up.
Yes, but she didn't have no bag for him, like no clothes, like spending the night, because they stayed till Sunday. So it was like, why would you bring them over and you don't have no clothes for them?
Well, when is your normal visitation, Mr. Little?
His visitation is each and every other weekend, because I do music, so sometimes I don't have
Okay,
time.
so you have visits every other weekend for the weekend?
Yes.
Why don't you have clothes at your house?
I do. I do.
Fine, so you changed them.
Yeah.
So she didn't have to bring clothes for him to spend
No,
the
but,
night. You have clothes
you
at
know.
your house. So he had an accident.
Yeah.
Keep going, I'm listening.
Okay, so this is not the only time CPS been involved. Okay.
I'm asking you, what were the things that happened that caused you to call Child Protective Service beside the accident
Besides
that he
the
had?
accident, they come dirty. Their clothes is dirty. Their socks look like they had it on for 2 weeks.
Keep going.
I bathe them. The dirt in the tub is like they played in mud all day. And then I'm asking her why my kids have to come here dirty. Outside clothes supposed to be dirty. Not your
Keep
inside.
going.
You want me to keep going? Keep going.
I want you to tell me what caused you to call Child Protective Services.
Oh, because of that. He was dirty. They filled with this and dirty and everything.
So you called because your children were dirty.
Yes.
And because he had had an accident in his pants because his mother wouldn't pull over or take him to a bathroom.
Yes.
Why didn't you go and file for custody of your children?
I'm going to joint custody.
No, not I'm going to.
No. I'm, as we speak now, process. Because I haven't seen my son.
When did you call Child Protective Services?
December.
When did you file for custody?
In January.
And what's the status of that case?
They didn't call us yet to come to court or whatever yet.
And you went in and filed what kind of a petition?
I filled out first the violation because I hadn't seen my son in a month.
Just a second.
You